Good afternoon. I'm Aseem Parikh. I'm responsible for solutions and partnerships at ONF. So I'm going to take you you were consuming for the last hour or two, starting with Cord, presentation from Larry, and finishing with Saurav and Onos in the middle. We're going to now get you to join a tribe or lead a tribe, right, to use the words. So I'm going to do the transition at this point, and we're going to talk about how you can participate, how do you join us. And what I'm going to present to you, in fact, is work in progress. We are putting this working model and use case steering and all of those concepts in front of our board tomorrow, which is the first time we are meeting face-to-face in the last few months. So we are going to nail down some of these things, but this is fully in full transparency mode. We are telling you what we are proposing to the board and get your feedback, and if you have any better suggestions, we'll surely bring that to the board as well. So before I get into that, recapping what you heard in the morning from Guru and Arpit and others, this is where we were, this is where we are today. Disaggregated network components. We have created this little pile of components. Someone needs to put it together. So the need of the hour, and hence my role, is to take these components, which are disaggregated, beautiful to use, Trellis, ONOS, Cord platform, ODL, what have you, build efficient SDN NFV solutions, which operators can deploy, basically to solve their use cases for monetizing and offering services. So the ONF and ON Lab is not about just doing research-oriented projects. It is about solving real use cases and taking it to deployment. So that is our goal, and we want you and the community to participate in doing that. So how do we do that? So the motivation is that. So you know this part of ONF very well. We have a board. We have members and collaborators. Many of you are members of ONF. And the ONF board and the members and the collaborators created this couple of projects. We heard about Cord, ONOS, Trellis, and other future projects. Some of them have governance, formal governance like a TST, which you might have participated in also. But this is the first part of it. The second part of it is what we are now starting to create, which is a use case steering team. We had started this in a couple of instances before, but we are now formalizing it differently. And I'll talk about how it's composed, but basically it's an operator-led organization, primarily coming out of product people or operations-oriented people from the service provider community, right? And then we'll obviously have people participate in it who are from the vendor community or other product management roles. So that's the steering committee. You heard of Brigades from ONOS. I'll talk about that a little more. Brigades are associated with one or more projects, sometimes can be outside projects or have multiple projects associated with them, and they deliver the technical work. And these are the two new concepts we are bringing to bear, and there is obviously how interaction happens between them. So the first concept is the brigade is proposed by ONF member at large or collaborator at large. It gets approved either by the TST or by the use case steering team, UCST. Okay. The second part, which we are formalizing or trying to think about, is a brigade without a product owner who understands the requirements, who understands the concept of MVP, a minimum viable product, is not very useful, has not been very conducive to what we want to do. So we want to bring that, and that the use case steering team points that product owner into the brigade is the model we are thinking of right now, right? So this is, again, proposal. This is what it's responsible for identifying and prioritizing the use cases which ONF and the community will work with. It may suggest and approve this solution-oriented brigades. Not all brigades are solution-oriented, but most should be, is our view. They will appoint the product owner, as I said, and they will, the product owner with the steering, with the brigade would work as agile team, and we'll talk about that in a second. So there's some more detail. I won't get into that. So how is this use case steering team formed? So obviously, our highest level members, the partner level members, will have a representative from each service provider side, one representative from every operator on our board, or on our partner would be part of the UCST. But we are going to open it up to the innovator members as well, with 3 elected representatives from the operators of ONF innovator at the innovator level. So there will be 3 there. Plus, we're going to also have people have a seat at the table from the vendor community, and that is also going to happen through elected representatives of ONF partner level vendors, right? So as you know, we have about 17 partners today. 7 of them are operators, 10 of them are vendors. So there is a role there. Plus, there will be, for kind of exceptional cases, there will be 3 ONF representatives appointed by the board, and that may include the UCSC co-lead. So that's kind of the structure. So there is opportunity for everyone in the organization, in the room here, to participate in the UCST, either as appointee of if you're an operator, as an appointee from your operator side, or as standing in the election and getting in there. Okay, so, but there's about 20% time commitment expected for this role. So that's what, make sure that when you participate in it, you understand that. And this talks about the meetings and stuff like that. Oh, sorry?
Quick question.
Yes.
Just to be clear about that.
Yes, Bobby.
So, I don't know how many people in the room are operator-driven, but what I see here is that if you're a vendor,
Yes.
you need to be partner in order to play, right?
In the UCST, yes. UCST is a service provider-led organization by definition. We have, just to get a divergence of viewpoints into the UCST, we wanted 3 representatives from vendors. All right. But that is the correct, and that is the desired outcome. It is a use case steering team is the vendor-led organization. ONF is a vendor-led organization. So that's what this thing is reflecting. Any other questions? Make sense? Okay, so that was about this use case steering team. A little more about brigades. We talked about brigades. So here is, we think the brigades, we have formed brigades of different types, and we have learned from what works, what doesn't work. We think the best brigades are short-lived, 6 to 9 months, well-articulated use cases or drivers. What do they want to achieve? Clear mandate, and use this agile methodology to really brainstorm and get to the end goal. The product owner is a key component of it. We talked about that. It'll be blessed out of the UCST. It'll be an expert from the network operator, provide and prioritize features and functions. The technical leadership has to either come from ON Lab, if that's where it belongs, or the community, and that's totally open. We will, the TST or the board will, when the brigade is formed, would create that. That leader would be the primary interface to the TST or the UCST. And again, the commitment for that is pretty heavy. So this is for the 6 month, 9 month, it's a pretty heavy lifting task. A typical brigade would be 4 to 6, 8 people at the most. So it's not a very large organization, large team. It's easy to work with, and roughly devote about 10 hours a week per engineer on the project. And the end goal has to be integrated and delivered to the project, the open source project. So that's the model we are talking about. So there are some brigades already we are talking about on the ONOS side. We have tried it with 3 or 4 brigades which are up and running. Here is a list of other brigades which we would like to do. So this shows you kind of the use case, alignment of some. So fixed wireless over 3G, optimized IoT over 5G is examples of that. SD-WAN and E-Cord is another example of that. The IP optical control plane brigade is starting up to kind of commercialize or productize this particular use case of ONOS. So these are examples of what we are trying to do. All right. And hopefully when we go up, we'll start some more today, right? And this the whole idea is this is something you brainstorm, you bring to the TST, bring to ONF, and we can get it organized. So this is for you really a call to action to do this. So again, wrapping up, this is another way of looking at the working model. The UCST is a single unified steering team across all of the things we do, creating these brigades, contributing to the brigades, the product owner, creating the solutions which we want to really drive towards, and so that's what the end goal is, and working with the software-defined standards group to facilitate that, to make that solution, as generic and as interoperable as possible. All right, that is the last part of it. Join or form a tribe and get involved. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.